The Awakening of the Elves and the War against Melkor. The Awakening of the Elves. The Elves, the Firstborn of Ilúvatar, awoke under the stars of Middle-earth in the land of Cuiviénen, located in the distant east. Their awakening marked the beginning of the First Age and the arrival of the first sentient beings to walk the lands of Arda. For long years, the elves lived in peace by the waters of Cuiviénen, marveling at the beauty of the world and naming the things they saw. They had no knowledge of the Valar or of the dark forces that lurked in the shadows. Yet Melkor, the most powerful of the Ainur who had turned against Ilúvatar's will, had been watching them in secret. Melkor's influence and the first shadows. Melkor feared and hated the elves, for he saw them as a challenge to his dominion over Middle-earth. He sent out spies and creatures to observe them, and it is said that some of the elves who wandered too far from their kin were captured and never returned. It is believed by many that these unfortunate elves were taken to Melkor's stronghold of Utumno and twisted into the first orcs, a mockery of their kind. The Valar, the angelic rulers of the world, had long stayed in the west, tending to their own realm of Valinor. Yet when Orome, one of the Valar, discovered the elves while riding through Middle-earth, he rejoiced at their beauty and wisdom. However, he also saw the danger they were in and warned the other Valar of Melkor's growing threat. The Valar's debate. Upon learning of the elves, the Valar held a great council to decide their fate. Some wished to leave them in Middle-earth to forge their own path, while others feared Melkor's influence and believed they should be protected. In the end, Manwë, the king of the Valar, decreed that Melkor's evil must be eradicated, so that the elves could live free of his shadow. Thus, the Valar prepared for war, the greatest conflict Arda had yet seen, the war against Melkor. The Valar gathered their forces and marched upon Utumno, Melkor's great fortress in the far north. This was known as the Battle of the Powers, a war that shook the foundations of the world. The conflict lasted for years, with the Valar tearing down to Melkor's strongholds one by one. The land itself was reshaped by the violence, and the skies were filled with fire and storm. In the end, Melkor was captured, bound in chains by Tulkas, the strongest of the Valar. Melkor's defeat and the elves' journey west. With Melkor defeated, the Valar turned their attention back to the elves. They sent messengers to invite them to Valinor, where they could dwell in peace under the light of the two trees. Yet not all elves chose to go. Some feared the journey, while others had grown to love Middle-earth and wished to stay. This choice led to the great division of the elves, the Eldar, who traveled west, and the Avari, who refused the summons and remained in the lands of their birth. The war was over, but its consequences would shape the history of Middle-earth for ages to come.